Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanfiction. I'm your host, Dennis Betholkis, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. So before I get started here, of course, I'm going to take care of some business. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe right down over here. And also, if you want to know when I'm being live again next, and it's a 50-50 shot of that actually happening, you can click the bell right over here. If you've already clicked the bell, don't hit it again. It will unclick it. You can go to the bell settings, get as many or as little notifications as you want. Also, if you want to know when I'm beyond live again next, you can go to suspendedfanimation.com, see the website up there, and that's where my schedule is. I change it out every week. And I also put it on my Facebook page. And speaking of Facebook, I have a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves. So, I have a Twitter, I have a Patreon page. I don't have any tiers set up as of yet. And I have an Instagram as well. There we go. That's all that information there. So, how's everyone doing this morning? Or in some cases, those of you in different parts of the world, east, afternoon, evening, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I am all over the interweaves, as Viking bitch says. I love your typos, Viking bitch. Never stop. It's great. It gives me stuff to talk about when I'm on air. No, it's not SBO Max. I haven't gotten that pretentious there. I have not gotten to that pretentiousness yet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was reading your guys' stuff there, and good God, the stuff you guys talk about in the chat beforehand. You should be ashamed of yourselves, especially you, Viking bitch. So I'm going to get started with a few things. Let some people trickle in before I get onto the main news here. It's about fucking time because I mean, on Tuesday, in case you haven't heard, on Tuesday, Disney Plus actually finally opens up for business, and Disney reached a deal with Amazon to get Disney Plus on all Amazon devices. That's awesome because I basically use Fire TV is what I use to watch most of my stuff, and I was gonna be pissed that I was gonna have to, update my PS4, make sure that I could get that. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Yes, I know, first world problems, but I'm glad they finally reached a deal and everything's good there. Yeah. Uh, yeah. And that makes it good. I can actually watch this on the big screen and surround sound and hopefully in 4K, but who knows with my stupid internet connection. Also, speaking of Disney Plus, according to the countdown clock that's on the Disney Plus page, it goes live on the 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 6 a.m. my time, West Coast time. Okay. Hopefully it goes a little bit earlier. I'd like to see it go off, midnight Eastern Standard Time of the 12th. That way it comes on at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. I should say on the 11th on my end, so that I can watch some stuff early. It'd be a lot easier on me. But hey, and they're only doing an episode at a time of The Mandalorian per week, which is fine with me. I'm actually okay with that. That actually works very, very well. Well, Dennis has a TV the size of people's entire living room, so it might as well use it. Yeah, well, that's I do a lot of TV watching and my eyesight's bad now, so I need big TVs. I was thinking about the 75-inch, honestly, when I was buying this thing. I was like, no, it might be too big. And now I look back at it now and I'm kind of like, I'm looking at the TV right now as I'm speaking. And I'm like, I could have gone the 75 and still gotten away with it. I couldn't have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you damn kids. Stanley Twill says Last Mr. Robot 405 was really good again. I was a little bored by 404. Really? I thought they've all been good, quite honestly. And 405 had the Silent Night treatment. So a completely silent episode except for one line said at the very beginning and one line said at the very end, which I didn't realize as I was. So usually when I'm doing the Mr. Robot recap and review there, I've just watched it. So honestly, I haven't processed it. Everyone keeps wondering why in the fuck do I keep doing recaps of this stuff because you've already watched it. Because talking about those shows actually works it out in my head as I'm doing this. And then I come to revelations about stuff, plots, things like that. It helps me. That's pretty much what I'm doing a lot of this channel for is, me. I like talking about stuff. And I like talking to you guys about this stuff too, but mostly I want to talk about it, get it out there, that kind of thing. And it wasn't until someone actually mentioned it in the chat that no one had said anything. I was like, it was kind of like this big fast, rewind wheel. Like, I went through and I'm like, holy shit, you're right. There was nobody said a word in that entire episode except for the very beginning and the very end. And that was amazing. And they did it on purpose, not porpoise, but purpose to find out. There's been other episodes on TV that have done that. So, Buffy's Hush, of course, things like that. Couldn't you do the recap before the live stream, Dennis? Then we don't have to hear it. You're a funny man, Stanley. And now you're on timeout. Yes, no, I can't do that unless I travel back in time, which I may or may not have. You never will know because then it always changes things that happen when yeah. You won't notice the changes. Don't worry about it. So that was kind of weird. Thought I heard something weird for a second there outside of my headphones. All right, let's get to one of the main stories, shall we? So there's been a lot of casting news all of a sudden for the Batman. And so far, the two that have been confirmed of new castings is Andy Serkis is going to play Alfred. Kind of surprised they didn't get Ian Glenn, considering that he did a great Alfred in Titans. And Colin Farrell is going to play Penguin. Now, this pissed off a couple of people that wanted to do Penguin. Of course, what's his face? Jonah Hill wanted to do Penguin. And of course, he wanted way too much money. So he backed out of that. And Josh Gad has been chomping at the bit for 2 years now, wanting to play Penguin. And quite honestly, I don't want Josh Gad playing Penguin because he's a sucky actor. If it was a comedy, sure. If it was Batman 66, great. But this is supposed to be a more serious take on Batman. I should say a take on Batman. So there we go. Hey, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, Andy Serkis is okay. He's a little too pretentious for my taste. There's a lot of shit that he says that you get an insight as to what kind of person he is, and I'm not really all that thrilled with him. Yeah, I'm not sure about Farrell as Penguin either. But I wasn't sure about him as Bullseye, and hey, I was right about that one. The other one that's not getting a lot of airplay or a lot of news, and I've seen it pop up here and there, is that Matthew McConaughey is supposedly in talks to play Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, which I was thinking about, and I'm like, that's actually perfect casting, to tell you the truth, because quite honestly, he does play like I think his personality really is split, where he can do a bit the DA side, and then he can also do the really wild Bongo Man side as well. So, too pretentious for Dennis. Let's think about that for a second. Hey, I'm not pretentious, Stanley. I just have good taste. That's all it is. I'm only judging Circus by on screen. I don't think I've ever seen an interview. His interviews, Penn, all you have to do is read them and read the quotes, and they're just like, oh my God, man. Do you have people like, indebted to you that are working for you and all that kind of stuff? Exactly. All right, all right, all right. You know what I like about high school girls? They, I get older, they stay the same age. That's the creepiest Matthew McConaughey line, by the way. Just the creepiest line ever in a movie. So, dazed and confused for those of you playing at home. Maybe it's better I don't know. I don't know what that is, Pen. uh, yeah, he is weird, but he can be a good actor at times. And yes, he is a flip of the coin. He really is. Uh, so yeah, the other news is Hailee Steinfeld, who was supposedly going to be cast as Kate, or had been cast as Kate Bishop in the Disney Plus Hawkeye series, says that she doesn't think this is happening now. So a little bit of background of what's going on. So Haley right now is in the Apple TV Plus series Dickinson, which is based on Emily Dickinson, loosely based on Emily Dickinson's life. And supposedly it's the best thing that Apple TV Plus has going for it. So out of all its shows, because I've heard really bad things about the morning show. I've heard horrible things about C. People are just laughing during C, and they said this Dickinson is probably the best thing they've got going for it right now. So she's got that show that she's in as well, and Jeremy Renner is going through a really nasty, ugly divorce right now, to where his estranged wife, they haven't been together, I think, since like 2016, has been bringing up allegations of drug use, sex with minors, death threats, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, and it's been one of those things like Disney is actually taking notice of this, and they're going, okay, we're going to pull the reins in on this one a little bit. And yeah. There's been a lot of stuff out there about Jeremy Renner's really ugly divorce that's going on right now. Well, his wife, he's 48. Actually, he's my age. He's 48 and she is 28, his ex-wife. So, or soon to be ex-wife. And yeah, that whole thing with the age difference, and when they say age is just a number, no, it really isn't. Quite honestly, there's things that happen. And yeah, yes, I am 48, Mr. Roboto. So yes, I am that old. And this is dye down here. No, I'm kidding. It's not. I actually just pluck. Is what I do. Maturity matters and age is related. True, Viking bitch. It's true, but yeah, you still want to, you know, be, within 10 years. I think is a good range. Quite honestly. Otherwise, there's just too many problems that exist. But anyway, I'm not going to debate that whole matter. Yeah, so that's one of the things that's going on, and Haley, I believe, is distancing herself from that series because she now has Dickinson, which is getting really good reviews. And supposedly this is going to be a blow up thing for her, quite honestly. Unfortunately, it's on Apple TV Plus, so no one will ever get to see it because I'm sure as hell not paying for that shit. Uh, you're a year older than for nobody calls you his cougar, really? Yeah, as long as he doesn't call you mommy, that's okay. Um, I've heard the rule for men is a girl must be at least half your age plus 8. Weird. No. God. Ugh. That's just weird. Ugh. That's just something for your vacation, Viking bitch, so you can bring it with you on your vacation in your head. You're welcome, by the way. You'll actually get that probably sometime about the middle of your vacation is where that'll pop back up again. So you're welcome in advance. Um, yes, I am evil, if you hadn't already realized that. So Bill Murray is confirmed to return to Ghostbusters 2020. He's just signed on, I guess, to do that. And he's probably going to have a cameo or something like that. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. He did a great cameo. He came back for Zombieland 2. If you stay till the credits, there is an end credit scene with Bill Murray, and I'm not going to ruin it for you if you go and see Zombieland 2, but it's pretty fucking funny. It really is. I mean, it's meta. It's meta on a couple different levels. Um, because it has to do with Garfield 3. And yeah, it goes with movie sequels and cameos and just it plays with so many different tropes. It's the funniest thing I've seen. Zombieland 2 was fun, Pen. I don't know if it was worth my time. I had some time to kill and it was playing at that time and I wanted to see it anyway. And I heard that if you like the first one, you're gonna like the second one. The second one was good. I like the first one better, but the second one was fun. I mean, it wasn't the greatest of stories, but there was some funny stuff in it. Yeah, yeah. What else I got going on here? Oh, yeah. So you know The Eternals is filming right now, Marvel's The Eternals with, Angelina Jolie and quite a few other people that are on there, and supposedly one of the sets that they were on had to be evacuated because they found an unexploded World War II era bomb on the site. And I guess Angelina Jolie was there at the time on that site, and, who else was on there? Excuse me. Richard Madden. So they were both evacuated from the set when they found an unexploded bomb on the set. And, yeah, it's kinda scary stuff. I mean, they're filming out in Europe right now, so, yeah, every now and then, they do find that kinda stuff. I don't know what country it was, Stanley, to tell you the truth. So it was probably like, England or Ireland or something like well, it's probably England more than likely. I don't think it was Ireland. So what? Morks hasn't seen an Emma Stone movie? Has the planet gone mad? Oh my god. Uh, hey, Morks, so Emma Stone dies in this one, in Zombieland. Oh, wait, was I not supposed to say that? Oh, well, sorry about that. You see the spoiler alert right up here, right? So there you go. I am. I'm in a little bit of a mood, I guess, today is what's going on. The spoiler paddle's buried underneath my my book right now, my writing book. So that's where the little spoiler one's up here. Hey Mark, she knows she does if you haven't seen The Favorite, that's the one to go and see. Yeah. The Favorite's actually really good. That's got Emma Stone in it as well. I was actually surprised by that one. It was on HBO. I happened to see it. So speaking of zombies, Amazon Prime's going to get into the zombie game as well. They have a new series that's going to debut next year called Narcos versus Zombies. Oh man, that just makes me laugh. So what this is supposed to be about is a SWAT team, I guess, from the U.S. along the U.S.-Mexico border uncovers some zombies. They get bit, and they all have their SWAT team gear on and all that stuff, and they turn into zombies. And they're supposed to be intercepting our cartel. I guess it is a drug cartel. And so the drug cartel has to fight these SWAT dressed zombies in order to survive. That's what the entire series is about. Um, okay, sure. Yeah, she is topless in The Favorite, by the way. Viking bitch, yes. Oops. Bing. There you go. Never thought of that. Get the zombies on drugs instead of brains. Exactly. What's a narcos, Mr. Roboto? A narcos is basically a cartel member. Uh, well, actually, I take that back. A narcos is supposed to be the person who is fighting against the cartel. That's their kind of a nickname. Instead of narcotics, it's narcos. Yeah. It's become a popular name in the last like 4 years or so because of Netflix and a couple other series and things like that that have been going on. I saw Gangsters versus Zombies. It's exactly what it sounds like, dull and interesting. Yeah. Well, this is on Amazon Prime, so of course they're gonna throw some money at it, and, yes, it does sound like a train wreck, Viking bitch, and I might cover it just because. Or it might just become a, is it worth my time, depending on when it comes out. So, it sounds like fun. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Um, so The Boys are currently shooting season 2, and they're shooting, of course, in, Toronto, and there was a location they were gonna film at. It was going to be, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be an end scene for season 2, where a superpower being pretty much goes on a rampage, and it's fairly violent from what I understand. There's supposed to be blood sprayed everywhere in this plaza. Well, that plaza was the site of a real life attack last year that left 10 people dead. And so when word got out about that they were going to film a scene like that at that square, people started protesting it and getting up in arms about it. So the production decided to move it from that location, which is a good choice on their part. I mean, yeah, you don't want to scar a whole bunch of people that, that's pretty fresh. I mean, come on. Yeah. I saw that trailer pen with just those two on the cast. I want to see it. Oh, all right. What was it? Not my usual genre, but has anyone seen the Helen Mirren, Ian McKellen trailer? Ian McKellen trailer, The Good Liar. Huh. I have not seen it. No. So yeah, good on the boys production company for moving that out there, and you know, I'm looking forward to season 2. Quite honestly, I just saw the teaser for it, and I definitely looking forward to this. I know they've been filming it since Comic Con, since before Comic Con. And speaking of which, Comic Con tickets go on sale next Saturday. So guess what's happening next Saturday? That's right. This is going to be pushed back to Saturday afternoon blast off, is what's going to happen next week. So Saturday afternoon blast off is happening next week because of Comic Con. You can blame Comic Con on that one. What's a Comic Con? Have I ever told you that I've been to Comic Con, Viking bitch? Yeah. I'm sure they're going to keep with the quality for season 2, Penn. The same showrunners, nobody's left, and that it's Amazon. So it's usually, I mean, the Tick did the same thing, but of course they canceled the Tick after season 2, which is, yeah. Am I bringing my good friends to Comic Con via GoPro? So the funny thing about GoPro, Mr. Roboto, that no one ever tells you is that fucker heats up quite a bit and uses up batteries quite a bit. So I'm gonna have to buy. I know there's one on Amazon. There's a 4-pack of batteries that I'm gonna end up buying because, yeah, it burns through batteries like nobody's business. And so I'm gonna end up doing that, and then also getting, my charge. I have huge battery packs that I bring anyway. So, excuse me, chargers. And so that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that to charge up the batteries that are not being used, that are spent while I'm filming other stuff. That was the main hang up that I had this year. Yeah, I should be. So I have stated in the past that one of the characters I thought about dressing up as was Deodorant Man and getting a shit ton of those little trial deodorant sizes and just throwing them at people at Comic Con and telling me, you need deodorant, you need deodorant, deodorant citizen, put it on now. And that could be his catchphrase is wash your ass. Wash your ass. Oh, not really, Mr. Roboto. As long as you don't hit him in the head or the face, it's not assault. It's just a misdemeanor. Maybe I should have made him that panel. So I can only carry so much stuff with me when I'm there, and usually it's gonna fit in a small backpack. You've seen that backpack. It's on a I believe it's on a video someplace around here, right? About Comic-Con? Something like that? Yeah. It's community service, favor to humanity. Exactly. It really is. Yes, and Rick and Morty is back on Sunday. I don't know, I'm not reviewing it because, like I said, Rick and Morty fans are fucking rabid. I mean, you've seen the World War Z zombies, the movie ones that act like ants where they're rolling over each other. Rick and Morty fans are worse than that. So yeah, I would never, fucking in a million years, review Rick and Morty. Uh-huh. How would a GoPro work with a car battery? Oh my god. Yeah, if you wanna fry it, Mr. Roboto, you wouldn't be able to do that. And also, you'd have to carry around a car battery, which has, acid in it, and, yeah, you really don't wanna do that. I don't care if they hear about those, if me saying it because they know it's true, Pen, and they'll agree with me on that one. They are that rabid. As long as I don't say anything about, descriptive about any of the shows, because then they'll pick it apart like, "Well, you forgot about blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, man." Yes, I know, Stanley. It's Dark is in my queue of things to watch. I think I watched the first episode, maybe even 2, and then I fell asleep during it. So, but that's not, the fault of the show. It was late when I started it. Yeah, there's lots of stuff I need to watch. Right now, I need to take breaks on some stuff. So I just last night, speaking of, I wasn't gonna watch anything last night, and I ended up watching the rest of Cobra Kai season 2. So there you go, because I hadn't finished that one off yet, and I needed to see where it went to. Because one of the actors from the original Karate Kid movies, one of the guys, Tommy, the one who says, "Put him in a body bag," he actually passed away. He had something with liver and kidneys that was going on, and he played the character again in Cobra Kai season 2, that he was sick with cancer, and soon after the episode premiered, he actually passed away in real life from his liver and kidney thing, which is kind of sad. But it was kind of nice to have a little closure on that, and I loved, season 2 was good. Season 2 was just as good as season 1 of Cobra Kai. Yeah. Do you call a roadside service if your battery dies while it's powering your blender? Not really, because you're not on the road, you're at home. Think about these things first, Bork, before you ask these questions. I'm not watching Rick and Morty season 4. Nothing against the show, just not feeling Rick anymore. You don't feel him up anymore? I'm sure he's disappointed by that. After a long week of doing mental gymnastics, I need to watch something fluffy and not deep. Um, I was trying to watch Star Wars Resistance is what I was trying to watch, originally, but I guess the Disney app that they have going on, I guess they're waiting for Disney Plus to fire up, only has the first 2 episodes up, and I know there's 5 episodes out there, and I guess my cable company, Disney XD, is part of another package, like a package up, so I can't watch it on demand there either, and so I can only see the first 2 episodes, and I watched those, and I was like, "Alright." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, Cobra Kai." I haven't finished watching Cobra Kai. Yeah. Yeah, he did do a great job considering he was that sick. Um, I agree with you, Pen. Yeah, I think Dan Harmon's got, like, 2 more projects in the works right now, which is kinda surprising considering how much drugs and alcohol he allegedly does. You really have to pay attention with Dark. I cannot blame you if the German with subtitles is too exhausting for you. It wasn't that, Stanley. I started watching it later, and, yes, the subtitles sometimes I wanna hear what's going on, And sometimes I get up, I want to go and grab something from the kitchen, or Pepper's bothering me and I need to grab something from the kitchen for her, that kind of thing. And I want to still be able to hear what's going on and then come back. But in German, unless I learn German, which isn't going to happen anytime soon, you know. So, who will Angelina Jolie work as a Marvel or DC Comics character? She's already a Marvel character, Mr. Roboto. She's in the Eternals, and I can't remember what her character's name is, but she's already in there. Yes, Pepper does rule the world. She is lying on her pillow over there. Someone got a little barfy the other night and barfed all over her blanket, which now is in the trash. So, because there's no way in hell I was cleaning that up with the amount of barf that was on it. Yes, I know, Stanley, there's a pause button. And I rarely use the pause button unless I'm reviewing something. Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole new food thing that was going on. And yeah, anyway, she's being particular about her food as usual. She's a bitch like that sometimes. So what else? Phil Lord here of Lord and Miller fame has confirmed that when Into the Spider-Verse 2 comes out, Japanese Spider-Man is going to be one of the lineups. Now, for those of you who don't know who the hell Japanese Spider-Man is, he's been around since like the 60s, I believe it is, 60s or 70s. I can't remember which one it is. And there are some really weird memes out there about Japanese Spider-Man. Go and take a look on YouTube. It's pretty damn funny. And creepy at the same time. But yes, Japanese Spider-Man is going to be into the Spider-Verse too, which I'm kind of happy about. So there's lots of different Spider-Man that are out there. I really enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse. Glad they're getting another one. Oh yeah, that movie made Sony so much money, Viking bitch. There was no way in hell that wasn't going to get a sequel. No, Mr. Roboto, you're thinking of the girl, Japanese Spider-Man with the mech that was in the first Into the Spider-Verse. This is the guy who it was kind of set up like the 70s one where he shoots ropes from his his webbing and all of that, and he looks kind of weird and he's always crouched down kind of thing. And just watch it on YouTube. Quite honestly, it's out there. Just type in Japanese Spider-Man, you'll see it. It's some creepy shit at the same time. It's really funny at the same time. It's kind of borders. It rides across a couple of different borders at the same time. I don't know how, but it does. So that's what happens when you have cultural differences. But I, for one, am happy that it's going to happen. So Guy Pearce is going to be starring in a movie called The Seventh Day, which has been described as Training Day meets The Exorcist. And you're going, what the fuck? So I just have to read you the synopsis because the synopsis actually makes me it's Fangoria that is doing this movie. And it says it follows a renowned exorcist who teams up with a rookie priest for his first day of training. As they plunge deeper into hell on earth, the lines between good and evil blur and their own demons emerge. Dun dun dun. Guy Pearce has not disappointed me in anything that he has done, quite honestly. And if you have not seen it, there's a little known movie that's out there called Rover. That is a sci-fi movie because it's set in the future, and it's about water shortage across the world. And basically, it's almost like Mad Max, but not to the point of where people are dressing up in leather and assless chaps and going for oil and whatnot. It's a bit more toned down than that, but it is shot in Australia or New Zealand. I think it's Australia. And the title Rover actually makes sense at the end. Yeah. All chaps are assless. Not necessarily, Mr. Roboto. There are some chaps that are not that have asses to them. Yes. That's what happens when you've lived in San Francisco. Yes. You know these things. Because they get displayed prominently in the window and during the week of um, shit. Now I can't remember what the name of that festival is, where people are getting whipped and shit in the streets. Uh, yeah, I can't remember what it's called now. Invariably, it's always funny. Some idiot brings their kids down to it. They're like, "Oh, there's a festival going on," and it's a kink festival where people are getting whipped and beaten, and there's people dressed in leather and all that kind of stuff. And I call it Tuesday in San Francisco. But yeah, it's Folsom Street Fair. There we go. It's the Folsom Street Fair is what it's called. And you always get some idiot that takes their kid in a stroller down there and then complains. They're like, "Why is this going on outside in the street?" It's like, well, they've been only announcing it for the last fucking month to tell you not to bring your kids down there because they're going to be at eye level with dongs and other stuff. Yeah. No, there's naked people too, Mr. Roboto. It's some pretty hardcore stuff sometimes. Won't someone think of the children? Yes, there's consensual whipping that goes on there. There is all kinds of weird shit, depending on your level of kink and what you consider weird. So there you go. You learn all kinds of stuff on my channel about what to do. And I believe Folsom Street Fair is sometime in June or July, something like that. Yeah. It is pretty much like the Catholic Church, Stanley. You're right. Same kind of stuff. I don't have the first issues. I remember Fangoria from when I was in high school. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I usually would try to escape that weekend. So there's a couple times when I lived in San Francisco that a couple times a year that I would escape out of the city for a couple of days because I knew what was coming. Beta Breakers was one. It was the giant race that pretty much cuts the city in half. And just every single asshole imaginable comes out of the woodwork for that and travels from all over the world to go there. Folsom Street Fair is the other one because then you have people on ashless chaps shitting in the streets because they can't find the bathroom or they're just too drunk to do anything. And they're also writing Muni and stuff like that too. And good God, put down a towel if you're going to sit down on one of those things. And what was the other? There was one other one I can't remember what it was. So it was basically like 3 times out of the year that I would just leave voluntarily. Because whenever I forgot, that's right, it was the Fleet Week when we had the Blue Angels flying overhead. Although you could never really escape that one because they're practicing all week, and those assholes like to go in between the buildings and shake the windows on the big high rises and stuff like that. So, and yes, I did say assholes. So there you go. Yeah. If you want free titties, Mr. Roboto, that's what the internet's for. If you want to see them in person, you can again go to San Francisco. It's like every other day. Quite honestly, nothing special. Some of them are, but for the most part, nothing special. So getting back to stuff here, June 19th, 2020, Pixar's movie Soul comes out. Now, what is Soul? Soul is about some guy who's talking on his cell phone who I guess dies and then becomes a soul. That's the teaser trailer that just came out recently had. And then he posits the question, what do you want to be remembered for? And it's like, okay, that's some pretty heavy existential shit to lay on a kid, at that point. And I was like, I'm going to predict right now that this is going to be one of Pixar's lowest grossing films, quite honestly. Not as old as Dennis, but born in the same decade, huh? Yeah. I'd ask why you love living here, but I'm in Florida, so Florida is not greater than California, Morks. I'm sorry. No. Yeah, California is I'm in Southern California. I don't live in San Francisco anymore. So San Francisco is way too fucking expensive. If you're not making at least $1 million a year, you're not living well in San Francisco. You can survive, but you're not living well. And that's really fucking scary when you think about that. Mr. Roboto, I can only buy one pass, and that is for myself. That's gonna happen next week, hopefully, if I get into the fucking if they let me in to buy tickets in time. The virtual queue, I guess you could say. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all over the place today on this podcast. This one's going everywhere. What else do I have? Joe Manganiello, the guy who played Flash Thompson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. He's going to play a character named Max Fist in the movie Arch Enemy. Now, what is Arch Enemy? Arch Enemy is about a superhero that comes from an alternate dimension, I guess it is, to our world. And in our world, he doesn't have any superpowers. And then teaches some kids, I guess, that the hero is within or something like that. So think of it as Last Action Hero, only with superheroes. That's pretty much what it is. I was waiting for somebody to do that one, but I guess this is what it's going to be. See you, Morks. I apologize for using the word titties. I'm sorry. Yeah, Max Fist does sound dirty. But immediately when I heard of Max Fist, the first thing I thought of was Homer Simpson's Max Power. It's when Homer, there's a TV show that comes on about it's supposed to be a police procedural show, and they have a character named Homer Simpson. And the first episode, he's really smart and he's good and everything. And they revamp the show kind of like they normally do after a pilot. And Homer Simpson on the show becomes this bumbling idiot um, who has a catchphrase, oh, kind of thing. And of course, everyone at work wants Homer to do the catchphrase because they know he's stupid and all that stuff. So he changes his name to Max Power, which is pretty damn funny. I'm sorry, The Simpsons have so much good stuff in there. You know, it's been done before in The Simpsons, quite honestly. If you have an idea, it's probably been done by The Simpsons already. They've only been on for 35 years, so, or 34 years, something like that. It's a long time. And that's why we celebrate the Feast of Maximum Occupancy. So, January 24th, 2020, a movie that comes from a short story done by H.P. Lovecraft and starring Nick Cage and Tommy Chong, Color Out of Space, gets released on January 24th, 2020. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, go to my Facebook page and take a look at it. Yeah. It's I just can't believe that Tommy Chong is in it, quite honestly. And yes, it looks very Nick Cage, exactly, Stanley. But remember, we already have last week I talked about Wally's Wonderland that Nick Cage is on, and now he's in this, Color Out of Space. And of course they dropped the preposition the. So it's just Color Out of Space, not The Color Out of Space, because that would be racist, I guess. Yes, it is by the Mandy people. So it is produced by Elijah Wood, which made me laugh. that Elijah Wood is doing that one. Hey, Jimmy Olsen, Blues, Jimmy Olsen's Blues. Have a good night or day, or I don't know what's going on with you there. You're working nights, so you're sleeping during the day. Got it. You're doing the vampire shift. Oh, man. What else I got going on here? Oh, yeah, this is a good one. So Jessica Gao, who wrote the Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty, she is now the new showrunner for the Disney Plus series She-Hulk. I'm actually kind of happy about this because it means they are going the comedy route with She-Hulk, which is the best version of She-Hulk, by the way. So that was the John Byrne years when he actually did that. And uh, by the way, Mr. Roboto, that is Doctor Strange. That is not Stark. And yes, I'm actually glad they're doing the comedy. They're going the comedy route. So the comedy route worked because it broke the fourth wall. And no, it's a live action She-Hulk, Stanley Tweedle. They've already announced this is going to be a live action series on Disney Plus. I am all for this, quite honestly, and that she is going to be the showrunner for it is awesome. And the interview that or not the interview, but the blurbs I read from her, she is like jazzed about it. She has actually been trying to get this gig for a long time. She wanted to work on She-Hulk. It is one of her favorite characters. And I'm like, that's nice. Yeah. That is one of those things that, again, like I said, it is kind of Deadpoolish, a Viking bitch. She does break the fourth wall. Go and take a look some of the old John Byrne She-Hulk comics. There's a famous cover where she says, buy this issue. I'm going to come to your house and rip up all your X-Men comics, is what it says on the front cover. It's a classic cover. It's very plain, but it's very classic cover. And I want to say late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. Yeah. And this is the Jen Walters I grew up with, the Jennifer Walters that I liked. This is the She-Hulk that I liked. This is the character that I kind of wish they introduced earlier. And especially in the movies, things like that, she would have worked. And I believe it wasn't until Deadpool made so much money as it has that Marvel is finally looking at this and saying, oh, yeah, by the way, we've got one of those characters too. Yeah. Spanacopital. Nice. Nice, Ejar. Venture Brothers reference. So, and on top of that, Jeremy Slater, who is working on the Umbrella Academy, is going to be the showrunner for the live action series Moon Knight, which is also going to be on Disney Plus. And I'm okay with that as well, to tell you the truth. And as long as people, that are involved in these series actually like what they're working on. And yes, I want Alison Brie for She-Hulk. There's no question about that. Alison Brie should be She-Hulk, especially now that Glow has its own, its final season coming up. She would be awesome as She-Hulk. She would make a great Jen Walters and a great She-Hulk. We've already seen that she can wear the tights. I mean, and Jen is pretty much in tights most of the time anyway. So there you go. Yeah. And she's funny to boot. Exactly. Yeah. And yes, I made that, I believe when She-Hulk was first announced, I want to say it was back in July, something like that. Maybe it was June. If you go back and take a look at the Saturday Morning Blast Off, you'll see it on the front cover of one of them. You'll see She-Hulk in there. And yeah, I made that same statement that Alison Brie would be awesome for that. There's already a green photoshopped images of her on the internet. Nice. Yeah. So, and that Moon Knight is coming out as well. Moon Knight is an awesome character and something I'm looking forward to as well. And to complete out some of this Disney run here, Disney Studios has been pushing. F There's all these studios do Oscar considerations. They take out full page ads and stuff like that, and um, in Variety and the Hollywood Reporter and all that kind of stuff. And Disney Studios is pushing for the entire cast and crew of Avengers Endgame to be nominated for Oscars. If you go to their link, actually, which is posted on my Facebook page, you'll see that up there. They have the list of all the people listed for your consideration, is what they said. You prefer Idris Elba for She-Hulk? I could see that. I don't know if he would be right for the role, though. Stanley Tweedle. Has he ever spent time as a green person that has been gamma irradiated? So, Wesley Snipes for She-Hulk. No, not anymore. Back in his Wong Fu days, maybe HR, but not now. He's too old for the role. Uh, radioactive appropriation. There we go. No, he's not HR. That has not been confirmed as of any time right now. Yeah. Ah, de-aging technology. Yeah, it's too expensive for a TV show, for a TV series, Mr. Roboto. So, yeah. Does the entire Avengers Endgame cast need to be Oscar nominated? No. The acting wasn't anything spectacular in it. Special effects, sure. Maybe some of the music, okay. Editing, maybe. But yeah, the script wasn't anything to write home about. And I'm talking about for awards stuff. Yeah, it's not worth an award, to tell you the truth. I'm glad that they're doing it, that they're putting them up for consideration. But yeah, it doesn't mean that we really need that. So, so my last two things are actually kind of linked together here, and not really linked, but just kind of similar, if you will. One is a female-led modern-day retelling of Kung Fu is in the works at CW. Yeah, they've done this before. Let's see. CW has now two failed reboots of things. So they were doing the female-led Supernatural spinoff, which crashed and burned, and they canceled that. A female-led The Boys, Lost Boys, excuse me, remake, which was going to be a TV series by the guy who's doing iZombie now, Rob Thomas. Rob Thomas, and that one got shit canned by CW to the point where they said, you know what, just go back to the original movie and make that a series. And so now, yeah, we already have Warrior. I agree with you, Stanley Tweedle. That is set though in the past, and that is kind of pretty much a remake of Kung Fu, but it's the Kung Fu that was stolen from Bruce Lee. So it's Bruce Lee's original idea is Warrior. This one is set in modern times. It's going to be a woman who goes out to a Shaolin temple, learns martial arts, comes back to the community, and sees it's being taken over by drugs and violence. And yeah, so there we go. Yeah. The other one, oh, happening over at CBS, is going to be another female-led take on Zorro, a modern-day retelling of Zorro, where it's going to be they're going to be following someone named Z, who is supposed to be a descendant of the original Zorro from the 1800s. Not Zora, but it might be Zora. Who knows? And I can't help remember. Didn't wasn't there a TV series, like a Zorro TV series? There was an animated one, that's what it was, where it was set in the future. And, yeah, they tried and it crashed and burned. I think they were gonna do a female version of that, and yes, they stopped and did a male version, that didn't even work. Tribucio Vasquez? Is that who is, originally based on EHR? I can't remember. So, yeah, Mr. Roboto, Supernatural, just watch the first 5 seasons. That was the original run anyway. That's all you need. The real Zorro of sorts. Okay. So, yeah, uh, so going back, Watchmen. So Watchmen that I'm covering currently, HBO's Watchmen, I should say, has a lot of stuff that references. So what it makes you do, that series, is you have to do homework on top of watching the episode. They actually have a Peteypedia page. So there is an agent named Agent Petey, who works with Lori, if you've been following along at all. And he now has a page on HBO's site that you can go to for extraneous. Yeah, I know. I have to watch myself when I say it because that's the same thing I think of too as pedopedia. Exactly, Stanley. It's very poorly worded. Yeah, Pen. Exactly. I don't care enough to do enough homework on this either. But I went down the rabbit hole and started looking at some of the stuff, and the company that bought out Vet Industries, Adrian Vet's Industries, is supposedly probably a front for him. So again, there's all kinds of shit in the mystery box that's going on now, and yeah, I'm not happy about this. I don't know how Sunday's going to turn out, quite honestly. So I'm just warning you guys in advance. Um, yeah, it's going to be ugly. Can we have a female-led, suspended animation? Nice of you to join us, movie Fanobi. Yeah, exactly. I don't have time to do homework on a TV show either, and I'm covering most of this shit. So, yeah, people have been bagging on me in the comment sections for my recap and reviews of that show, and saying that I'm treating, Mr. Robot differently than I am treating Watchmen, and I'm like, well, Mr. Robot actually built its world, whereas, Watchmen has been resting on the bones of a comic or a movie, which we didn't know about until actually episode 3, which one it was actually resting its head on. And then they said it 30 years in the future, which might as well be another world entirely at that point, because you need to explain yourself at that point. Explain what that world is. Explain what has happened in that world at that point, which is not going to do it. Yeah, exactly, HR. One show is good and the other not so much. Yeah. One actually is written well and has all its bases covered, while the other one is just focusing on a mystery, like a mystery box, if you will, and not on any of the characters of the story. And the other one is focusing on everything. Yeah. Too late, movie for Nobi. You weren't here. Viking Bitch already brought your sausage into this. So it's fair game. Mr. Roboto, I feel like we're losing good writing, intention, and characters because of gender politic pandering. Not really, Mr. Roboto. There's plenty of stuff out there. There is so much good TV out there right now that this little shit that is getting focused on, it's going to go away anyway because it's got shitty writing. If you are, again, as I've said before, If you are focused on only bringing whatever the current flavor of the month is, whether it be um, whatever new trend is happening now, and you're basing your show around that, or you're basing your writing around that, it's going to change next year. Mr. Robot's actually a good example. Mr. Robot, their first season, they started on the Occupy Wall Street, and Occupy Wall Street was a seed at the time that it started. And if you go back and watch the first season of Mr. Robot, you'll see that Occupy Wall Street is in there quite a bit. And then it doesn't know what to do with the second season. So the second season's kind of a mess. And the third season is what redeems Mr. Robot, quite honestly, because it becomes its own entity. They find out, oh, it's about the characters, it's about what the characters are doing, it's about the story. Fuck this extraneous material that's happening on the outside in the real world. But focus on what you want to say with this character and what they're doing, and leave politics, uh, you know, whatever else that's happening in society. You can mirror some stuff in society, yes. But if you're using that as your entire basis of your show on your writing, it's going to look dated. It really is. No, Mr. Fanobi. Is Charlie's Angels going to crash and burn? Yes, Charlie's Angels is going to crash and burn. And no, HR, they're not using John Forsythe's voice in the commercial. They've already said in the commercial that Charlie is not a guy. Charlie is a woman. So there you go. One more Watchmen, and Dennis will have a meltdown review before giving the finger and walking away. No, I don't know. I don't know, Viking bitch. I might stick it out to the end just to piss people off at this point, because it's something I need to actually go through and see what needs to be cleaned up on this. God, sorry, I got a gnat flying around here that I'm trying to get rid of. Charlie's Angels, the most reboot show. It's perfect for reboots. No, not really. Yeah. Oh, you heard John Forsythe's voice on the speakerphone? It could have been that they used his voice to pretend that, Charlie was a guy, but it's actually a woman. I've seen the commercial already where she says, "Who says Charlie's a guy?" And then we see a woman sitting by the classic speakerphone, and she's got a big ring on and old gnarled fingers and whatnot. But I heard the new Terminator is the third best. Really? I posted an article. It was a review, and it's a spoilered review. And the third, I posted this on Facebook, by the way, on my Facebook page. Here, you know what? I'm going to go to it, and I'll read you the third paragraph, which pretty much summed up quite a few things for me. And actually, I didn't post it on the Suspended Fanimation site. I posted it on my own site. That's on my own page. So that could be the reason why you guys never saw it. Yes. Let me get to it here for a second, and I can share this with you. And let me see if it says anything spoilery. So, of course, I need to close off the automatic things. There we go. Yes. Okay, so there really isn't anything spoilery in this, but here, let's just say this is in the third paragraph of this article. They say queer studies professors will find a great deal of subtext to the film's troika of heroines, Danny, Sarah, and the augmented human soldier Grace, bickering and making house and doing battle against the Rev 9, a shape-shifting dude who often comes clothed in the uniform of authority. Of special interest has to be the aid provided by a Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, named Carl who is explicitly described as a non-sexual male companion to a battered woman and whose main interest is interior decorating. Once I read that part, I was like, yeah, I'm not seeing this. And that just came out yesterday. Once I read that part, I was like, yeah, I cannot in good conscience read it. I or watch it. It's you essentially just took the entire movie, said men are bad, and then got make your own movie at this point, really. He's actually Carl from accounting, not the future. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Um, yes, I like Dr. Girlfriend. It's pretty funny that there's yeah. What do you mean? Everything's good there. Right, honey? Uh, I heard there's not a lot of wokeness in the movie. Did you just read what I wrote there, Stanley? There's a lot of woke in that movie. Yeah. Penn, actually, the Terminator movie did get sent off well in Terminator 2. And I figured Terminator 2 is where it ended, quite honestly. You know, I like Terminator Salvation, to tell you the truth. A lot of people don't like Terminator Salvation. I thought it was decent, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Ugh, man. Can't say I've ever been attracted to Tony Curtis in a dress. What about Bugs Bunny? What about Bugs Bunny in a dress? How about that, EJ? She ever made you as has Bugs Bunny in a dress ever made you feel kind of funny down there? Yeah. Agreed, but they gotta get back to the original cast. Don't waste the effort. So, I thought about this. How can you do a Terminator movie and get away from the whole John Connor, Sarah Connor trope thing? And it's show the battle, for God's sakes. Go to another part of the planet and don't bother with John Connor, quite honestly. The John Connor story's done. Don't focus on it. Focus on something else in that Terminator world, is what you need to do. The war is happening. You got a lot of shit that's going on in this war. Obviously, John Connor was a part of it, a big part of it, but you also have other people that are fighting in this thing too. And do another story someplace else. Quite honestly, you have it mired down by having always be about John Connor and Sarah Connor. It doesn't have to be that way. Yeah. Terminator 97, Back to the Basics, Pong takes over the world. Yeah. Like, yeah, I know Skynet's done, and I know all this. I know what the whole story is. Stanley, I read it because I wasn't about to go and see it. And yeah. Um, yeah, I just saw, what was it? Amazon Prime, I believe, has the Sarah Connor Chronicles up. I saw that was up and I was like, fuck yeah, I know what I'm gonna be watching. I almost watched that last night. Yeah. So, man, I swear that gnat is gonna bother the shit out of me. With Mackenzie Davis and Linda Hamilton, you have plenty of star power for a good story. I honestly don't know who the hell Mackenzie Davis is, to tell you the truth, movie Fanobi. It's the first I've actually seen her, and I was like, "Who are you?" So, yeah, I didn't know who she was. Sorry. No, I have not seen *Halt and Catch Fire*. I love you, man, but stop taking LSD. I don't take LSD. So, Mushrooms, maybe, I don't know. Oh, no. Joe, that's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah. So, what else we got going on? I'm trying to think. Well, of course, on the 12th is when Disney Plus shows up, and of course, The Mandalorian, which everyone's been waiting for, including me. I know there's a lot of people that complain about Disney and whatnot and Marvel and all that kind of crap, but uh so you know, just get over it, quite honestly. It's if you don't like something, don't watch it. Case in point, the new Terminator movie. Don't like it, so I'm not gonna watch it. Am I dedicating an entire fucking episode to it? No, I'm not. I mentioned it in passing. Yeah. Oh, the chat always degrades fairly nicely, Pen. I already realized that. Um, God, it really does degrade pretty quickly. Once I get off topic, that's the whole thing. That's when it starts degrading. Um, give shit a chance, quite honestly. If you're absolutely sure you're not gonna like it, then don't watch it. If you're on the fence about it, give it a shot, you know? Then you can bitch about it. But like with Watchmen, like HBO's Watchmen, what I'm doing right now, I'm giving it a shot. Yeah, I know. The TV does turn off. Exactly. So does the computer. I've said this before. People don't listen to me. No, we have to rage against the indoctrination. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Not everything's a fucking conspiracy against you. I mean, just because you have a penis doesn't mean that everyone's railing against you. It doesn't. Man, swear to God. People just really need to fucking chill out for a little bit. Get away from the internet. Get away from TV. Go out and talk to people in the world. Commune with nature or something. If that doesn't work, just walk out really far out into the surf. Um, exactly. Not everything is about you. The world does not revolve around you, even though you think it does. It doesn't. The Simpsons had a very depressing episode. I can't remember which one it was, but where they were talking about it was a Treehouse of Horror one, where every single episode happened to be about death, and one of them was like, you know what? When you die, the only people that are going to remember you are the people that were close to you, and once they're gone, you're going to be forgotten. Kind of thing. I was like, fuck, that's pretty dark, but kind of true at that point in time. So quite honestly, it's not about you; it's about all of us in collective. Yeah. I got a young nerd at work to watch Galaxy Quest for the first time this week. He's going to check out Counterpart next. Yes. That's nice. Mm. But the phone company killed the Kennedys. I heard it was the aliens, Ejar. Yeah. All right. I've rambled on enough about shit that no one really cares about because they're talking about some Italian sausage and all that kind of shit that's happening in here. And I don't know what else. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the day. Uh, any good panels at Comic Con? They won't announce that until next year, Mr. Roboto, once Comic Con gets finalized. So, yeah. I am not jealous, Viking bitch. You guys have fun. Yeah. I mostly fail with preaching about good TV at work. Huh. I don't. Just people don't really listen to me. When is SBO next week? Time of day? It's probably going to be at noon, Stanley. It's probably going to be at noon. Depending on, so it usually takes me a little while to pull together the articles, and then also I have to do the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff for SBO because I don't do it the night before like I probably should because I'm a lazy motherfucker. Um, so it's probably gonna be noon Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm supposed to be in the what is it? In the room at 8 a.m. They don't open up the doors until 9 a.m. to let us in. And then it usually sells out by an hour in there. So I'll know within that first hour, and then I have to set things up. See you, Mr. Roboto. Yeah. And I can't really do it while I'm waiting online for that thing, so it's a pain in the ass. I could, but it's always the fear of having it crash on me because I do a lot of graphic intensive things when I'm doing that, and yes, it can crash the computer. Even though my computer can handle it, sometimes it does freeze for no good reason whatsoever. It's not the phone company, it was the mafia. It was the water mafia. No, the gay mafia. No, it was the plaid mafia. Tripping the Rift. God, I haven't heard of that in a while. That was an old show. I remember that. LAWP, DWP. What is that? HR. Los Angeles Department of Water. Uh, Water penises, or I don't know. Darth Bobo. Yeah. So if you like what you see here, water and power. There we go. If you like what you see here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you also want to know when I'm be on live again next, hit the bell down below there. It's 50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. If you're still on the fence about joining up here, you're going to see a video pop up here. What the video does is it takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching, matches it as best as possible to one video out of my vast video library and pops it up there for you. Up here is going to be Titans. Titans is going to be up there. My schedule is also up on suspendedfanimation.com. It's also mirrored on my Facebook page. That gets changed out once a week. And there's also a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves. I have a blah, 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 blah. I've got a Twitter. I've got an Instagram. And I've also got a Patreon page, but there's no tier set up as of yet. That will happen at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. There we go. Yeah. There is a lot of stuff coming up. Have fun with the mandolin on Disney Plus. Thanks, Stanley. I'm actually looking forward to it, to tell you the truth. And everything that I've seen, I saw they had another little brief trailer at the beginning of this week, and I saw what looked like a female Mandalorian. And I was actually kind of cool about that. That was gonna be fun. Have a great weekend, everybody. Tomorrow, tune in for Dennis's final Watchmen review. That's not true. It might not be the final review. No, it's not Sabine, by the way, Stanley tweeted. Supposedly it is Kerry Russell's character from The Rise of Skywalker, is what they're saying. Yeah. Supposedly it is Kerry Russell's character from The Rise of Skywalker. That's the rumors anyway. They have females? You mean they aren't like Smurfs? And no, there's no time travel involved. Because this is John Favreau's involved in this, not Jar Jar Abrams. Yeah. Stop binary gendering everyone, Dennis. You don't know. Don't you know there are 31 now? 31 genders? I didn't know that. That's a lot of genders. And that makes shit real confusing now, too. God. Can you imagine having to update your dating profile with that? With 31 different genders to choose from? Because the combinations of that have to be staggering at this point. Dennis has a rise right now. You can't see that move for knowing that. You can no, not from your angle. Oh. What they teach that there's 31 different genders? 31 genders according to the state of New York and 21 on the Scottish census. Wow. That's a lot. Like I said, that's probably gonna crash a couple of dating sites depending on, all the algorithms of stuff that they need to put well, whatever. Yeah. Yes, some parents are complaining to the school administration. Amazing. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the or today, I should say, in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the rambly video that I've just put up. And I will see you all tomorrow for Mr. Robot and Watchmen. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see where Watchmen goes. And take a look at the schedule. Like I said, it's up on suspendedfanimation.com. And let's see. I'm gonna let you guys go. Might as well do it that way. Again, take a look at the video up here if you're still on the fence about joining up, and take a look up here for Titans right there. There you go. Thanks, everyone. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out, I don't know, that somebody at your school board has decided to scream about something because that's all it's about now. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.